everyone. So I'm going to be doing a few more music reviews on this channel now. I really do love listening to music. Music is a really good pastime for me, and I really do like talking about it every now and then. And recently I listened to the new album from Our City called Coco Moon. Now I've always had a bit of a soft spot for this guy when it comes to his songs. I've always been a fan of Fireflies, his debut single, and I still think that is one of the best and most original tracks to come out of the 2000s. And it's basically, it didn't come out until 2009, so it's more like an early 2010 song when you really think about it, but I still count it as 2000s. But anyway, I think the thing I really like about this guy, Adam Young, is that most of his songs aren't focused on what usual pop songs are, like focused about, like sex, drugs, money, fame, you know, the dark side of fame and all that stuff that you've heard 1,000 times before. His work is a bit more original, and it's kind of more about like putting your mind mentally in like a place that he's presented to you. So it's more about, the songs more than anything are more about like visualizing his lyrics and like using your imagination and kind of being transported to another place, which is something I really appreciate from his music, and not just his music, but other artists that do this, because it's not as common when you hear tracks like this in the modern soundscape world. So anyway, I did really enjoy this album quite a bit, and I guess I will explain to you why I enjoyed this album. So here we go. So basically, this album, in a way, isn't really that different from his previous work. It's kind of more of the same thing, but in like a different style. And that is basically all I wanted from this album anyway, just more of his musical, lyrical style. And it's pretty brilliant in this album in particular. There are a few songs that I remember more than others, but I think the first one that really hit me was Sons of Thunder. Now there are a couple of songs before this one, some really nice opening tracks like Adam Check Please, but Sons of Thunder, it kind of does tap into his more religious side, because it's pretty obvious at this point that Adam Young is a Christian, and a pretty devout one as of that. I'm not really that much of a Christian myself. I mean, I do sort of believe, and I pray every now and then when things get really tough. But I've never really been a massive church goer, even though I did go to a Christian school, so that's why I do know a lot about it and do sort of semi-believe it. But what he says in this song is pretty comforting. I will admit that, saying that God forgives you no matter what you've done, and that He will always have your back, and that He is not someone who's going to judge you and condemn you. He's just someone who will forgive you and be by your side. And I like that side of Christianity. I like the lighter side. I don't really tap into, you know, the darker side that a lot of other Christians obsess over. So I do like his stance on his belief, and that's why I did like this song, and I do think about it more than others, because it actually does have something to say. So following that track is another track called The Tornado, which is also sort of a little bit Christian in a way, but not as much as the last one. It's kind of just like him describing him going through a pretty nightmarish period in his life, where things became very overwhelming and very chaotic, and he kind of just like sat and pleaded things to get better. And it did get better, and I like how it transitions to like this really, you know, chaotic piece at the start, and then it really calms out and becomes a lot smoother towards the end. And it's kind of like the theme of the song, I guess, is to like just like know that if you feel like you're in a really dark place and it feels like it's permanent, it never is. It's always going to get better, and life always changes into other things. It's not always the work. If something really bad happens, it's not going to stay like that forever. Things will change, and you'll move on and get better. So I like this song as well. I think this is probably one of the biggest standout tracks of the album. I kind of feel that this middle period is probably the peak of the album, because following that song are also my two favourite songs on the album, which is Vitamin C and Dinosaur Park. So Vitamin C, being sea like the ocean, it's a nice little pun, is just basically a song of Adam wanting to go on a hotel on a vacation to Hawaii and just chill out by the waves, and saying that it speaks to his soul. He just loves the atmosphere as being enveloped in the atmosphere of like beachside life, and you know, I guess I can relate to that. I like the beach too. A lot of people like the beach. I love going to the Gold Coast, even though it's not Hawaii, but it's pretty damn close. The Gold Coast has some pretty fine beaches. I'm not trying to brag, but Queensland is pretty good when it comes to the beaches. But yeah, I like the beach. I like this track. I like the way it sounds. I kind of like its kind of watery, splashy vibe and the little ting, glistening electronic hits. It's a nice sounding track. Anyway, leading on to possibly my favourite track on the entire album is Dinosaur Park, which is the personification of me saying earlier of how his songs put you in a place, and you are like given freedom to like imagine what that place will look like. And it's also the longest song on this track. It goes for almost 7 minutes, and it just flies by. And his lyrical work on this track in particular is his most abstract in the entire album. It's very descriptive of like what you'll see in Dinosaur Park. I guess Dinosaur Park is supposed to be like just like this national park, kind of like Jellystone from like Yogi Bear, or like just real life national parks around America and Australia. And it has statues of dinosaurs in them. So I guess it's kind of like this quirky, you know, just forest part that has a few dinosaur facts about it, which is pretty cool. But I do like the journey that the song takes you on, and I like how it doesn't really have much of a meaning. It's not like about, as I said, like love songs or like divorce songs or like all those songs that you hear. It's a very take it as it is type of song, and it really gives you the freedom to kind of just think whatever thoughts come to your mind when the song comes on. And I think it's great. I think it's a pretty brilliant track. So, and I think it is my favorite on the entire album. And then there's Learning How to Surf, which is a song where Adam meets this stranger woman who has all these tattoos on her. She explains to him her tattoos meaning that when life gets you down, you can learn to surf the waves. And it's a pretty it's not really an original topic. You hear so many people talk about this, like you can't control the waves, but you can learn how to surf them. So it's not as original as some of his other songs, but it is still pretty well written and well composed and well produced, and it is a pretty nice track. Though I don't think it stands up to those 4 previous ones, but it's still good. And then you got the final 2 tracks, which are they're a bit weaker in my opinion, but they're still an okay closer. So you have the Meadowlark, which I think is a song singing about like some like World War One or World War Two or something, and he also sings about the concept of grace in this song, which is where he sings about loving his enemies, which is also a very Christian thing to say too. And I have nothing against that. It's very true. And there's My Muse, which is a song about his partner, I guess, his wife maybe, I don't know, but it's a nice closer, and I'll leave it at that. But overall, this was a very solid and original album from Owl City, and I don't know how it stacks up to his previous works. I don't listen to Owl City really that often, though I do like his previous stuff. I really do like his debut album, Ocean Eyes, and then there's this one called, I don't know, it's called like The Summer Connection or something. It has like the cover art is like a picture of like a whale next to like all these houses like under the sea. But I do like hits. I think it's from 2011. Of course, Good Time is on there, which is also another great song. When Can I See You Again is on there as well. I think it was featured in Wreck-It Ralph from 2012. But overall, I really did enjoy this album. I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. It's not perfect. It does have some weaker tracks, but The tracks that really do work on this album are real good songs. They're real bangers that really do work, and some of them are very long and very descriptive. Dinosaur Park being the best one that does this on the entire album. I also really like the cover art as well. It's kind of like, maybe it's supposed to be Adam, but like there's this guy on like this motorbike who's arrived at this diner in the middle of what I would say is an American desert at nightfall, and it has the title Coco Moon above it, which is in this nice, looking nostalgic looking font, I guess. So yeah, it is a nice looking cover as well, and it's a very artistic album. You can see a lot of time and passion was put into this. It's not just like another, corporate music studio album that is just made to get a buck and get some money. A lot of creativity and time was put into this record, and it shows, and that's why I like it as much as I do. So anyway, hope you enjoyed what I thought about Our City's newest album. You guys are the best. Thanks for watching the channel, and as always, take care. Thank you.